There we are.
Yeah, welcome to the Balking Dead, fellas, where there is no sleep for the fucking wicked. And of course, this show is sponsored by Prizepicks, so if you haven't already, go on over there, use promo code PubSports, get you a first $100 match deposit on your first $100 made. So go over there and do yourself a thing. I'm your fucking host, Sharpie's Bets, and if you don't know the man next to me, you fucking should already. My man, C Mac with the pack, Connor Mac, how you fucking doing today?
I'm pretty good. I didn't go crazy. I sent out to some of my main guys my pick. I'm happy the Nats are up 3-0 because I took them first 5.5, but I have their team total too. I put some money on that, so I need some of those to come through. But pretty good day. Happy Easter. Shout out to everyone that'll get here in the chat. Sorry, we're a little late. A little Sunday action. Not our normal setup, but we're here. We're here every day. We want to bring it. And thanks for having me on, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, let's get to this fucking awesome game that we got going on. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, guys. We attack the 4 p.m. Pacific time, 7 Eastern time every fucking night of the week, every day of the fucking week. And today we get the one primetime game that they're going to give us. We got the Atlanta Braves at the San Diego Padres. We're at Petco Park. It's going to be a nice, chill 65 degrees and a strong 10-mile-per-hour winds blowing left to right across the diamond. We've got Bryce Elder going up against Hugh Darvish. Bryce Elder. Who the fuck is Bryce Elder? Right? He made his first ever MLB start last week, drafted in the 5th round in 2020. Guys, it's 2022, and this guy's already in the big leagues, guys. He was born in Texas, went to the University of Texas, and he made one year in the freaking minors, guys, and he hummed through with a 11-5 record, 2.7 ERA, 155 strikeouts in 137 innings. Last year, he smoked through all levels of AAA, and obviously, like I said last week on this show, the Braves organization thinks this guy is ready.
Yeah.
He obviously lived up to his fucking hype, guys. He almost had a quality start, going 5.2 innings, giving up 3 runs. Not too fucking shabby. He's a 4-pitch pitcher, but he only tops out at 93. But he has a really quick delivery that they say fastens up his fastball. He has a really short delivery, so it gets there, guys. He hums. Padres versus right-handed batters are bottom 10 in walk percentage, top 5 in strikeout percentage at 26.7, and are bottom 10 in walk and bottom 10 in OPS. Elders has that 5 plus 117 on Bovada. And I don't really hate that here, guys. They're going to look at him going 5, and the Padres are striking out top 5, almost 27% versus right-handed pitching. So if you're looking at Elders strikeout prop, don't hate it. They're not offering him on Prize Picks. It's probably for a good reason. They know he's going to go 5 to 6 innings versus a team who's been struggling hitting the ball. Obviously, none of these Padres have seen Elder, but the 1 year in the minors, left-handed hitters did hit 282, while right-handers hit 182. So, what is sticking out to you on these hitting props on this side of the Padres bats, my guy?
Wow. Shout out Pujols, 3-run jack. Huge. The
Yes,
Cardinals.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Remember everyone too, because it's baseball though. That's a little different than other sports where it's like they're begging you to take it's a
Fucking told
trick.
Manley to bet that home run prop today, dude. Versus a
Sometimes,
lefty all day. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, no, you're right. I talked about on the show. You're probably listening. Cardinals versus a lefty, but they hadn't hit him well. But this is the move. They're just playing better baseball right now. The Brewers might sweep them going down the stretch, and that's what I was a little bit. The only thing that was a little bit, but Cardinals was definitely the play. Obviously, Pujols with the 3-run jack. Let me touch on Elder real quick before we hit the
Yeah, you can
yeah.
talk all about you want. If I missed or something, or you got something to add, please.
Definitely. I mean, Braves have some arms, and now this guy's going to be their 5th starter for now. And like you talked about, they think they have better prospects, but they think he's the most ready right now, and that's why he's in. Obviously the Padres haven't seen him, and he's in too because they think he's the most. He's in at 22, like you talked about, ripped through the minors. He's a 5-pitch pitcher. He's got a put away change. He's got a good sinker, slider. So he's a 5-pitch pitcher, and that's why they have him in tonight. We will see. They haven't seen him, so it's tough to go with hitter. But I was talking to you earlier. So on this side of it, with with Elder and the Braves, I'm going to take over a half base here on Prize Picks. I got a little 2-pack here. I'm going to go with the one guy who's hitting for them, Profar. All I need is a walk or a hit. Keep it simple. There wasn't a crazy stuff like I was talking to you earlier that I loved on Prize Picks, but I loved this one. Just he's the only guy. He's got 3 jacks. He's hitting 270 or right around there, 268. That he's not always been a great hitter, but he's the lone guy in that lineup. I know Machado had that 5-hit game when they won the first one with 13 runs, but this Padre team has not been hitting 2 runs the last 2. And I think they get a little today. We will see. Will we get another under? Who knows? And will Darvish pitch well, which you're going to get into in just a second. So, but for Padres side, I looked at Will Myers for a half too. I don't really care. He can walk a bit. He's struggling. So I'm going with the hotter guy just over half base with Profar in this one.
If I was to look at somebody, I'd have to go with Hosmer. I mean, I unfortunately have bet way too many Padre games this year than I probably should have, but I've seen a lot of their at-bats. And going through his minor league numbers, the lefties did hit a 280 off of this guy, and Hosmer's had some clean at-bats. So I'd just be looking at him if I was to bet a hitting prop right there.
I got to say, he doesn't – I think he has a hit. He has an RBI and a run on Prize Picks. But, yeah, hey, he's a guy I've used already twice and I will use in sensible jacks because, like, for these home run guys, it's like a guy like PJ Crawford. You catch him getting like plus 900. And there are a guy like, I mean, he hits home runs because he's not a pure power hitter. But when you can get those ones, and I've used him once because he had like unreal numbers twice already. Like he was like 8 for 18 with 3 home runs, and he's plus 750. I'm like, you got to throw a few bucks. You know, I didn't win it. That was the first week against the Diamondbacks. But yeah, sneaky guy, especially if you're looking for over 1.5 bases or a jack. You know, you get a great price on it.
Yeah, can't hate it. Let's get into another sneaky guy, Hugh.
Okay.
Hugh Darvish, guys. Going for the Padres today. A tale of 2 Darvishes. Not Hugh, but 2 Darvish. His name, 2 Darvish. Two-Face. What one are we going to get today, guys? That's the fucking question. The one that no-hit the D-backs or the one that couldn't get out of the second inning versus the Giants? He looked really good in spring, guys, with changed mechanics, and I was preaching about those changed mechanics. But I also preached about him having a new catcher in Nola. And for his whole career, he has been with Caratini, and he's a finicky little bitch like most Japanese baseball players are. They are used to their 6 days on, 6 days off, not a 5-day rotation, and they want to stick with the same guy and what works for them. So if this keeps going the wrong way, they're going to have to figure something out for Darvish, because if it's a bad game for Darvish today, it's going to be a keep fading. For me, though, on the other hand, I've got to look at his home road splits from last year. He did have a 3-3 home and a 5-5 road, and he did have a 4.96 during the day and a 3.8 at night. We're getting Darvish where he's better, at home and at night, with a 10-mile-per-hour winds across the stadium, blowing in from left to right. If any weather was to help this guy, it would be tonight. This ballpark he seems to pitch well in, but let's get into it. He needs a splitter. That's the one thing he did not have going versus the Giants. He couldn't locate it for nothing, and he was hanging it left and right. And the strikeouts ain't been there this year for him. They can be there tonight. Am I willing to bet that? We'll get that later. But right-handed pitchers, the Braves this year, are top 10 in walks. They're also top 10 in strikeouts at 24.7. Middle of the pack average and top 10 OPS versus right-handed pitching. Darvish's K prop is at 7+ minus 104 on Bovada. I can't play that number. Even though the numbers say he can get there, I myself can't. I have to see a little more with Nola, but I do see a decent start from him going today, at least 5 to 6 innings on Prize Picks. They have his fantasy score right at 28.5, and I have him in between 27 and 30. So I don't see no value when there's only 1.5 each way that I could see. I could see 6 innings. I could see those 6 strikeouts and giving up 2 runs, and that barely gets you over that, guys. So you've got to find the ones where there is value. So what you looking at on this one? It could be something big. It could be something small. It's Darvish.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, this guy, it just can be so dominant. And you talk about a guy that's a five pitch pitcher that when it's working, he's so good. And just, I don't know if he's back to people always say, tipping his pitches or he just seems to be so, bad, or he's just on. But this is a spot where he was great last year. And he was so good early last year. I mean, his numbers just were bad the last month or 6 weeks of the year. Last year, they
He
were
was
just,
hurt. He was hurt and didn't say
yeah,
shit.
just horrible. Yeah, he was not well. He got worn down. Yeah, he was not. Yeah, he was just a totally different guy. And we've already seen that twice this year in his first two starts. A good one and a bad one. So I'm looking here. The Braves, it's pick your poison. Real quick with the prize picks, I haven't got too crazy in the fantasy score yet, the hitter fantasy about it, because you could pick tons of guys. Albies, Duvall, they're all over. Riley, they're all 5.5, 6.5. And it's kind of pick your poison. Matt Olson, which I'll touch on too. His home run prop. He had a jack last night, so that's why I maybe not would go, but he's around plus 450 for another homer. I think actually in that trade, I mean, we got Freddie Freeman and for a decent amount of money because his age and, it's 7 years. He'll end his career. I don't know how great that will be to the last couple. But I think the Braves, it wasn't that bad of a deal. I mean, people were repping on it. They got rid of but they won the World Series with Freddie Freeman. He was there, and they get a younger Matt Olson that they think had
He's
more upside.
better.
So
He's better.
yeah, right now he is better. I mean, he had an
Freddie Freeman
unbelievable year
sells
last year.
more jerseys. Matt Olson is the better baseball player.
Right now, probably too. And Freddie Freeman's just coming off an MVP 2 years ago, and because he struggled mightily at the beginning of last year, like that first 6 weeks, he was off, and he's a little off today. I'm going to touch on him in just a second before we get out of here about the other games that are going to start here in about 40 minutes. But I went with Dansby Swanson. This guy, I just need over half a base with him, struggling. And you're going to say, why are you taking him? CMAC. I didn't want to do any fantasy here on the prize picks, walks and hits. There wasn't a good guy that I wanted there, and they were over 1.5. He's still hitting. He was hitting 117. He went 2 for 4 last night though, and I'm gonna ride him. I think he can get a hit tonight off Darvish or at least a walk. So I put those two together, Profar
I
and
like that.
Swanson.
That two
Over
for
half
four last
base.
night means he's seeing the ball though. Like, yeah, he's struggling, but 2 for 4 means okay, bro. It might be clicking. And
That's why I
baseball's
went with him.
streaky.
Yeah. So, because there was one other one, because we're sticking to the Sunday night baseball game here that I like that if you want to add to a third guy or take Swanson off, would be his Max Muncy. We know how he's just a half a base, Sharpie, on Prize Picks. You know how patient he is. He great
Dang.
walks, Muncy. So he's a guy. If you want to change out one of these or add a third guy, Max Muncy in the Dodger game, he's only at a half base on here on Prize Picks. So I think that's a steal for him because he's a great guy who gets walks. You don't even need a base hit out of him. So you just get a walk out of Muncy, you'll be cashing
He
in
could
that
he
one.
could be hitting a bomb too at any given time. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's a steal, I think. So if you want to add Muncy, make this a 3 pack, or take one of these guys off and throw Muncy in. I know we were trying to focus just on the late Sunday night baseball game. And as we
Gotta
get
give him a
into
little.
yeah, a little bit of hitter props, just to touch on, like you mentioned, Hosmer's plus 700. I'm just like maybe a shot because this guy's not hitting either. Padres aren't hitting too well. Is Cronenworth? I got plus 800. I got plus 825 in another spot. So just kind of a sneaky guy that
Wow.
if you're into a jack that could, because a lot of these Braves like Duvall and Riley, they're plus 380. Nothing against that, but I don't want anything to do with that. Even Dansby Swanson 700. So Cronenworth plus 800, a sneaky little value if you have a little coffee, beer money, pizza money, whatever you want to say it, on a guy that maybe is going to break out because these bats need to break out for the Padres to especially get this win and 2-2 for this series because they have not been swinging. I know they had 13 runs or 12 or 13 in the opener, but they didn't have any couple runs the last 2 days. No hits with runners on either, Sharp. So yeah, hit me up with what you got. What your prize picks looks are here with the case, brother.
Yeah, yeah. The only one they were even offering in this game, guys, was the Darvish at 5.5. There is value in that. Seeing books have that super juiced at 5.5. With
Okay.
prize picks, guys, they're gonna give you a ×4, ×5 your bet. They don't give you value if you take plus or minuses. So you can find value searching through the books and seeing what books are offering. And you can find a minus 140 and 150 they offer you. And more often than not, you'll probably be on the right end of that side. So that 5.5, there is value, but I don't have the cojones myself. You guys out there, smash the damn like if you already haven't. If you
Oh yeah,
haven't
hit the
already
like.
gone over to Prizepicks, use the promo code PubSports. Do us a favor, hit the share, tell your moms about this show, tell your grandmas about this show. It's here every fucking day, and I'm going to be bringing this man on a little bit more because he got some hitter props that we need to be cashing on. Any last words for these fellas, C-Mac?
Yeah, real quick, I'll just shout out to the chat like you talked about. Nilo said weed money, of course. They're a little bit more, but weed money can be small too. Hey, I got 5 on it, Oh,
Yeah, I got 5 on
back
it.
in
Yeah,
the
but
day,
we ain't getting
so
we ain't putting no half skis, Nilo. Come on, man.
I know. So, but yeah, just funny how you put, weed money
Nilo, he
question.
made me laugh, bro. I died when I seen that. That made me laugh.
But shout out, yeah, hit the like button. Just kind of Sunday edition. Just me and Sharpie on. Maybe we'll do this a little bit more often on the weekend. Since sorry we don't have our normal graphics up and all the bells and whistles, but hey, we're just a 2-man show today, running it and getting it
Bam.
done. Real quick before I go, I just wanted to mention before I throw it to you before we dip, my brother, Freddie Freeman. I just think he needs to get going. He's over 1.5 bases, he's plus 140. I think he could get to hit tonight. I just think a double. I just like his over 1.5. I thought that was appealing at plus 140. And then I saw Bellinger's minus 120 at some spots, minus 130, just over a half base. I saw on DraftKings. And that's about it. Lastly, if you guys are into, because there was one more game, Astros. Always you see Altuve at least 450, his jack. So that's like a little question mark. There's enough value, I think. Sharpie there, and my guy who's a Haniger's not up with a good number, but Ty France, you catch him
He's
plus
been humming.
550. He's a
He
guy
got
that
2 singles last night off Verlander. 2 of the 3 hits were from that guy, so he's seeing the ball.
I've already got a jack with him this year, and I hit probably 3 or 4 with him last year. He's been clutch for me. You get him plus 550, plus 600 for a jack there. Just in that game, if people were looking for hitter props, just to throw out. But that's it, my guy.
Yeah. Well, happy Easter, guys. Thanks for hanging
Yeah,
out, and see you all tomorrow. Have a blessed Sunday.
get out of here. Peace.